Welcome to PDQ Live. Today we're talking about sysadmin tools, and it turns out a lot of those tools involve networks, so we brought in an expert.
Tara. No, I'm just kidding.
Totally. All right, let's begin. Austin, pay attention.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, so we're going to start off with NetBox, I believe.
Yeah.
And you watched us showcasing what we understood about it, and that's when you said, I'm gonna show up.
I'm going to take over, idiots.
To clarify, I was begged on hands and knees, please.
That's actually more accurate because we didn't want to bumble through. We thought, why not have a network expert talk us through it, right? That's actually the truth.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's switch because you can drive.
We'll switch spots here.
Yeah.
So to clarify or to describe what NetBox is, it's basically I describe it like a bookshelf with categories already written on it, right? Mm-hmm. Useful tool here, but basically it's a platform for you to organize or document certain aspects of your network or your infrastructure, right? So
As much as you want, really, right?
yeah, as much as you can, as much willpower as you have to do it manually or to automate this process, right? We actually use this here a lot for this IPAM, right? Because like IP addressing is kind of interesting. If you want to come up with some subnets that you need for a new building or anything, right? You can easily find this information by getting your current IP addresses in this IPAM here. And then they have a useful tool. Apparently, I haven't used their newest version of NetBox, but related IPs, if I were to... Anyways, the point being is that this tool is basically used to help you organize your infrastructure, right? To give you a place to see what is happening or what you have out there. But it's as strong as your documentation or automation or both of those mindsets are, right?
So if I had like a company and I had some in Sacramento, some in Seattle, some in Salt Lake, I could put all those locations in here, right? So I could do my organization and different sites for all of those.
Yeah.
And I could put my switches. I could put everything in here, right?
Yeah, you could put anything with an IP address in here. If you want to do cable management, you can do that inside NetBox. The devices and serial numbers, platforms.
I can put pictures, right?
I believe so, yeah. Maybe they'll have some for us. Probably not.
So I'm actually going to steal Andrew's idea for the picture since he's remote and he can't talk over me.
Do it.
Is if you have a good picture of the wiring closet, then if you can't be there, if you have a technician in there, you have the same, like you have a picture of what they're looking at, so walking them through what they need to change is a bit easier.
Yeah.
That was my idea I just thought of.
It was a good idea. So I use this at Bonneville, and of course I'm a crazy person, so I put in all the pictures. I love all that crap. I color coded the label, the wires. I love it. But you did something extra special with it that I wanted you to talk about. You automated it.
I automated it because I'm lazy.
Good.
You know what I mean? I don't have that Tera drive.
Let's see it.
So NetBox has an API. Basically, I'm pretty sure my fridge has an API at this point, right? So I would hope so. But
let me just pull it down for you. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead. It hides.
No worries. I'll let you drive. So of course, this is open source. So you can view the code for it if you want to. I don't. But the REST API is pretty simple to understand, right? I use Python to do this, but I just make API calls to, I don't usually use circuits, but to the IPAM service. And then I have Python log into my switches, and I'll grab all the subnets on those switches. And then I'll look at the ARP table too and do a DNS resolution for hosts off of those switches. And then that's run every 6 hours, right? And then it updates our NetBox solution here on-prem and keeps things updated for us. So if anybody in IT needs to go look and see what's connected to what, whether it's a switch to switch or a host to switch, it makes life a lot easy.
So I like this because documentation is almost always most likely going to be what's left behind or forgotten. So this is like a living document, basically, of your network. So even as you grow, it's going to grow with the automation with you.
Yeah. As long as your planning inside NetBox works with your code, right? So if you have a bunch of sites, you just have to make sure that code looks good and can be easily adjusted if you get more sites, right? Or how do you identify a site if you're inside a switch, particularly? That's my issue.
Yeah.
But
So one thing I like about this, and I'm sure you know this, is there's a big community too, right? So if we come back over here, there's tons of scripts, lots of people to help you if you don't know what you're doing, and you can ask for help, find the scripts you need if you can't write them yourself. You can just kind of reach out for help, right?
Exactly, yeah. And their documentation is very, very thorough.
Yeah.
I had no issue just spinning this. I knew of NetBox, spun it up, got it working within a day or two.
Yeah.
So
If you don't automate it, though, there's so much granularity. You can pick the manufacturer. You can manually do it if you don't do it your way, though. So you don't have to be a coder to do it.
yeah,
There's both ways.
Yeah, if you enjoy typing a lot,
I do. I love typing.
then that's for you for sure.
But there's the images right there, actually. So I absolutely love this. If I wanted to take a picture of the back of it, the rack, here's where I would do it.
I might actually use that because I need to be able to show people stuff without being like, can you FaceTime me real quick and let's take a look at that
Yeah.
switch.
So my idea is pretty good then. The one that I came up with on my
Yeah,
own.
I thought that was very good. The idea that you came up with on your own. Yeah.
There was a very relevant question. I don't know if...
Yeah, I grabbed that. If you'd like a relevant question in NetBox.
Yeah.
All right. Can NetBox show a topology map of your network infrastructure?
If it can, I don't know. I don't use that. I build my own topology for our network here. So I'm not a big fan of automated topologies using if NetBox can do it because I usually don't display the hierarchy that I would like. But so I haven't really looked into it here. But maybe somebody out there has either implemented some way to do it or they do it. And I'm just not aware of
I
it.
clicked on 3 things and didn't find it.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
And I clicked on 2 and didn't find it. So it's like, you tried harder than me.
So
Jason has the answer.
Yeah, LibreNMS is really a very useful tool as well. It integrates well with NetBox.
Okay, so
It's a, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a data visualization open source solution.
all right. So it sounds like topology, maybe not out of box, but there is another tool that works well where you could generate that.
Yeah, to reiterate, NetBox integrates with a lot of stuff, right? Whether you build your own tooling or you have multiple tools that integrate with NetBox, this is common. Like at least an IPAM is very common for organizations just to keep some database, some, what do they call it? Source of truth, right? A lot of people use NetBox as that source of truth.
Okay, so this is how we would document our network. Now, can we talk about how we would troubleshoot our network if we're having problems? Because our next tool is Wireshark.
Yeah,
Can you
we
walk
can-
us through Wireshark?
Yeah, we can talk about Wireshark. I'm sure everyone here is, I hope everyone here has heard about Wireshark, but if you haven't, it's basically a tool for packet sniffing. And what that means is your computer runs Wireshark, anything inbound or outbound, if you're just running it right out of the box, can be seen by Wireshark, right? So this is Wireshark for us, or on this local machine here. It's a lot. Pretty sure this has been running for like 12 hours. So
I stopped it
Oh, okay.
when I remembered this
No,
morning.
it's still running because the stop is active. You can go stop it now.
Oh, I stopped the ping. Sorry, I didn't stop it in Wireshark. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is a lot of stuff, right? But I mean, basically, Wireshark allows for so a little bit of packet inspection, right? So, in my case, I had an issue earlier this week where I was having wireless issues and clients weren't getting DHCP, right? How do I prove that, or how do I know that? You download Wireshark on a client machine or your machine, and you see if you're receiving anything, right? So DHCP is DORA, right? So you have to get it. You either request and get a response. But that's basically it, right? So let's see if we've got anything here, right? This is the a display filter, right? The capture is getting everything in the pipe. Anything that comes in on that interface is going to be seen by Wireshark. And what the display filter does is it doesn't change the capture itself. It just changes what it displays here, right?
Okay.
So this is going to take a hot second because we got a lot of packets to look through. But these display filters are super useful for only finding what you need. If you're looking at any computer in Wireshark is going to look ridiculous, right? But here is DHCP. We've got 4 total packets of this DHCP and however many we've obtained in the last however many hours. But what this does, what it allows for is further inspection, right? So if you really like to know a lot about DHCP, you can look at your client IP address, your IP address, any DHCP options here. Am I going to give? Oh, probably not, right? So here's our DHCP server, our subnet mask, domain name, router.
Oh, great. Now we're just hacked. Way to go, Austin. Oh,
We're
my
hacked,
gosh.
yeah. Domain name servers, stuff like that, right? But all this does is allow you to confirm. As a network engineer, I'm sure not even being I don't think it requires to be a network engineer, but a lot of people blame the network for a lot of stuff, right? And the easiest and the nicest way to really prove it is to grab the packets and confirm and then show that to people. What I like to do is give people packet captures and then say, no, it's not my fault, but don't tell them where in the packet capture it's not my fault. So that way they really have to look to see if it isn't my fault. You know what I mean?
Having done this without Austin here, there's a lot of information is what I'm going to tell you, right? It was like a lot.
Yeah, it's really not a terrible tool, right? Like if we want to filter for IP, as you get deeper into the protocol, you can look for certain headers, basically, right? So we're looking for anything that has an IP address, whether it's in the source or destination address of 8.8.8.8, and we're probably going to get like 10 million ICMP.
Because it ran forever and ever and ever because I forgot to turn it off because I'm a ding dong. Yeah.
I mean, but ICMP is one of the easiest things to look for in Wireshark, right? It's a simple reply or request response, right? So something that I can also show you here is I may have to stop this capture real quick. Oops.
It had a good run.
Yeah, that's okay. The capture's over.
It's perfectly fine. So what makes my life easier, just a quick Wireshark tip, is to resolve these network names right here under name resolution.
Because we want to see who's doing what.
It really does make my life easier. Now what happens is Wireshark will get a lot more DNS requests, or your computer will look like it's making a ton of DNS requests, which it is because of Wireshark. So it can dilute the packet capture a little bit. I think we stopped our
the
ping out to
is no
Google.
longer happening. Yeah,
but like you can easily look up DNS requests, see if you're getting responses. It's a very simple tool in nature, but the complexity, the depth that you can use it for when it comes to troubleshooting is incredible. It's my favorite tool ever, my favorite piece of software I've ever used.
So where I'm not a network guy, if I wanted to check to see if you were paying attention, this is the tool I'd use to start sending out information.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, like, you can glean so much from just a couple lines of, a few hundred lines in Wireshark, right? I mean, not to like talk about our own infrastructure here, but you can tell we're running HSRP version 2. You can tell what version TLS this computer is running. You can tell we're RDPing, right? We can prove that right there. You can tell what our DNS servers are. I mean, this is also not the best tool to packet capture and then send to an outside source. But
So right here, where we're not sending to source necessarily, we're just broadcasting live.
the webcast, we ride
fine.
dirty here. Okay,
Yeah, we do.
ride by
We totally do.
some saying that I don't know, but
Okay, so we got to move on from networking though because we have more tools. There's too
I
many
just love
tools.
talking
I know you
about it.
do,
No,
but you
I'm
got to
just
stop now because it's
Okay, I'm
Jordan's
done.
turn to shine. Jordan.
If you want to see some more of Austin handle that, we did an earlier webcast where you covered the basics of networking, and you use that tool quite a bit.
yeah, and you can always contact me in whatever way. I'm on Discord if you want to hit me up too. It's not
Do you require MBucks though?
no. Not from
what?
customers, only from internal employees.
Okay.
Good to know.
Okay, we're on to WinMerge.
Yeah, so I like this one. So if you're like me, you don't use appropriate source control. And every time I make a script, I just change it to .old. And then you know what's different? WinMerge is where I can go in and see what I've changed because I'm not using the appropriate systems. So we have here file 1 that is a wall of text. And file 2 that is also a wall of text. But if I wanted to see if there's anything changed or needs to be changed, and I know Kelly is nervous about me running this because I was inappropriate earlier.
Did you clean it?
We'll find out.
Find out.
Is that there is one difference, and it is by Andrew's new book, The Art of the Shill.
Got him.
So, which, I mean, people should buy it, so I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to merge this all to the left there. There we go. Now both documents have that important message. But this is just a quick way. So if you have large sets of data, or if you're trying to say, like you have, like the host file, that's usually pretty standard, and you want to see if someone's made a change, a quick comparison that way works. So it's just a great way to see through large sets of data what's different instead of having to read through the wall of text like so.
So for scripts, I imagine it's very helpful.
For scripts, but usually with scripts, you should be using source control like Git.
Okay.
And if you're not, I mean, you should be. I joke about it, but your scripts over there. Every time you make a change in script, if it's in something like a Git, you're going to have the change request argument with all those differences.
Yeah.
But if you're not using that, then this is a fine tool until you can start using it. And I don't want to. I'm going to discard those changes.
Yeah, we don't want those changes.
All right, and the last thing that I thought was pretty cool. I did try messing around with the CLI to see if I could run this remote, and you can run it remote, but it doesn't capture right way. And like you can't just say, hey, here's the differences and return that result. So it wasn't great for me. But I did do, I think that's the name of it. Clipboard something compare.
Something.
We're going to try it without looking it up.
Let's do it.
Because I thought that was interesting. So if you have the clipboard enabled, it just may say, I'm pretty sure I typed that the exact same and you happen to be copying it. You can find out whether or not you did, in fact, copy the exact same thing. That's just kind of a quick, but overall, I would say as getting things become more prevalent, WinMerge value is decreasing, but there's always going to be large sets of data out there, and they're always going to be want to trim through that as quick as possible.
Yeah. Save time. Okay. Should we move on to PowerToys?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to breeze through this one kind of quickly, though, because we're, as we suspected, as Kelly said, because Kelly knows everything, we're going to run out of time. So this is PowerToys. There's lots of fun little tools in here, so we're just going to touch on a couple. I like to pick out the ones I think he'll like. You ready? Fancy Zones is the first one. So this is basically just, I'm going to call it snap-in places for your monitors or work zones you can create on your monitors. So you're basically going to create, what are we going to call them? Layouts. This layout editor right here, if you open it up. And actually, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it. I forgot because we're in this weird virtual environment. It's going to open somewhere else. So I'm not going to do this. But if I wanted to create grids, like if I like 5 working grids, I could customize my layouts right here. And then once you activate the hotkeys, you just drag them around, and it will always stay that way so I can snap my windows into place. So if you like your workspace a certain way, you activate this, and there you go. And you can do multiple monitors. So this one's pretty nice for organizing it. And these activation shortcuts, and this is for all of the PowerToys, they're customizable. So if I do whatever I type in here, I can make my hotkey different. It has to be different for all of them. But if you like to press Control-Z, there you go. You just put it right in there. So this one's fun.
So if I remember, so PowerTools is basically it's power users and then
yeah, it's basically for power users. Yeah.
So the value of this one is not so much for what you're going to get for helping other people or fine-tuning that, but it's for making the most out of your workspace.
Yeah, being efficient, doing things quickly. And it's actually kind of an old tool that they decided to bring back in Windows 10. Yep. So we included all the documents about that. I'm not going to talk about host file editor because I don't really think you should do that quickly. This image resizer is pretty cool. You just take a picture of a screen grab and you literally make it smaller. Just this easy. This one's neat. This keyboard manager, the remap a key just seems like trolling your friends. You just, when you push B, you can change it to any other letter. It's supposed to be for different languages, but that one just seems like a prank. Remap a shortcut, however, pretty cool. This is, if you like to press Control F, say, to find things, but Outlook doesn't do that appropriately, you can now make it do that. So you just put Control F, and then over here you'd add Outlook. So Find works exactly the way you would expect it in every single app. So that's how this one works. You could set it across the board.
Okay.
Then let's see. I think you liked paste as plain text.
I'm a very big fan of this because when you are copy and pasting text, because I don't actually do any of my own code writing, I just copy it from the internet.
Good. That's how you should.
But when I paste it in there, if it's not just as plain text, you can get a lot of with like URLs that you copy and paste in there and stuff like that. Just to be able to say all I want is the text that I captured is very. I hate having to go and hit the little drop down arrow and say redo as plain text.
Yeah,
so having
I
that done
understand.
for me would be pretty sweet.
This Power Rename does something similar to what you were talking about earlier. You can, if you download something 4 times and it adds the parentheses 1, 2, or copy, you can select multiple items in your File Explorer window and rename them in mass. That's what this one does. So that's kind of fun. But I think you're going to like this one. This is one I think is going to be your buddy. So remember, again, activation shortcut, set it the same. So I did Alt space for this one. So when I bring it up, and then if I type VS Code, see all these little options right here? Run as a different user, run as administrator, it'll bring it right up. So if there's something that you use all the time, and I know you use VS Code all the time, I can launch it straight from there as administrator.
So it's kind of like just a little bit cleaner version of the Windows are.
Yeah, just favoriting it. Yeah, exactly. But there's tons more, so go read about them all. There's too many to go over right now.
That one's pretty nice for, like I said, that one's more for your own environment.
Yeah.
Which wasting time getting your stuff set up every time is kind of bothersome. So it's kind of nice to have some tools to cut out that workflow.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we at now? I haven't even been looking at the...
Close that one. Now we're moving on to Sysinternals, your favorite.
Yeah.
So Sysinternals was, I think, the one we heard the most about.
And there's good reason, because it's not just one or two things.
Yeah.
I just went and basically said, give me all of the Sysinternals, and it's all of these. They're all different tools. They all do different things.
Yeah.
Varying in value, but some of these are
Just a ton, though.
absolutely amazing.
We heard most about Process Explorer and Process Monitor, right, though? But you had one that you liked even more. You're old school.
I do it, and that's mostly because it was the most relevant for a previous job, so I used it the most.
Yeah.
All right, so Process Explorer is basically a more advanced version of the Task Manager. It gives you a bit more detail. I believe it actually has an option in there where you can say replace Task Manager, so this will just become the default. That's kind of handy, because Task Manager is nice if you're just going to kill an application, it doesn't matter. But if you're looking for more detail about what goes into each thing, petabytes and stuff like that, this is a much better outlook. It gives you more information, and
Tons more.
As sysadmin, information is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this looks like Task Manager on steroids to me.
Yeah, you just need to be able to efficiently throw away bad data. But
Yeah. Okay.
And I know this one was, I think Andrew has something about it he liked more, but he hasn't talked. Are you even here, Andrew? Disembodied
I'm
voice?
here. I'm here.
There he is. We hear him. Okay.
Hey, sorry, my VPN disconnected, so I can't see my environment. But there was a cool way to see like the handles. So if you're trying to like uninstall an application and it says this file is open somewhere or whatever, you can. I believe it's at the top, view, or it's actually find, and then it's handles. I believe, yeah, find handle or DLL, and you can type in like Chrome.exe or Edge, whatever you got, and it'll show you where it's open.
Well, that's pretty handy there.
That's nice.
And that will give you all that. Okay, yeah. So it is.
I love
like
this
said,
one.
It's actually, now that I've seen this, that replace Task Manager seems more valuable, just because I mean, Task Manager is neat and all, but we could do better.
You would do that immediately. What about Procmon? You want to do that one?
Yep, we can do that one. So this one, I don't know, what do we call this one? Real-time file system something. I'm going to read
Yeah.
I'm going to read it here. Real-time file system registry and process thread activity. There we go. So once again, this is something that's similar to Windows. You can see there just with more information. It's basically a lot of stuff, especially around the processes, is just giving you a lot of the same data, just more of it. And that's always good.
This looks like Event Viewer, but helpful, doesn't it?
Well, these aren't events. These are processes that are
I know,
currently
but
running.
it looks, I'm just trying to draw comparisons. Whenever I go into Event Viewer, I'm like, we were a waste of time.
Yeah, and I think it's another one just has more filter. So if you're looking for something more specific, the ability to go in and filter quicker and faster, just so you can fine tune exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So those are the most used, but they really are just
Yeah.
existing things that are just built better.
Sure. Well, they're helpful.
Which I'm all for with that one. Now I'm going to show my favorite one because I have the mouse.
You do. Let's do it. Teach us, Jordan.
I love RDC Man.
Okay. What does it do?
That's because when I was doing QA and I was running tests where not just the automation test, but actually I had to see a visual representation, being able to have 8 RDP windows open and controlled just like that, where I could go and verify everything's working the way it's supposed to, was very handy to me. And I don't have anything built out here because, lab. But basically you can build groups of, say, these are my Windows 10 test machines, and they all use the same login where you can inherit the credentials. And you can just right click on that and it's going to log into all of those.
Nice.
And so you can just see what's happening without needing to dive into it.
That's nice.
So this is one, it didn't used to be Sysinternals. It was just a tool that was out there, and then it died because there's a security hole that was quite a risk.
A problem.
Yeah, and instead of fixing it, it's just like, all right, we're just going to abandon it. And then Sysinternals adopted it, and they patched it and brought it back. And,
Nice.
And I love them for it.
Me too. Okay. Anything else we want to cover in Sysinternals?
I don't know.
PS exec we talked about.
PSX. So this one is be able to run basically scripts remotely without having to actually remote in.
So if you didn't have deploy.
Yeah, I can't really. There's nothing to open that one because if you're calling that, it's just running the function of that. But if you use PS exec, it's similar to deploying as logged on user with our product, and it does a lot of similar functions to that. I have used this before when I didn't know what deploy was. I think I would just go with deploy now, but
Maybe you would.
I am biased on that.
Just a
full
teeny
disclosure.
bit.
Yeah.
Teeny bit. Okay. Oh my gosh, we have 3 minutes. Did we do 5?
Yes, we did 5.
Wow. Yes.
3 minutes to spare? Are you kidding?
All right. Well, I guess, do we have any
Are there
questions
questions?
that come in, or do
No,
I get to talk
really.
PowerShell?
You get to
You
talk
can
PowerShell.
PowerShell,
We
do
didn't
it.
think it would happen. We really didn't think it would happen. It is a miracle.
All right. We put this one 6, but this is clearly the best tool.
Obviously.
This is the only one that matters. It does everything.
Yeah.
It is the greatest thing that has ever happened in the history of mankind.
Yeah. I mean, that's not overstating at all. Yeah.
Nope, that's where we're at. And I mean, this is a weird one, like for 3 minutes, because PowerShell really can do anything that you put your mind to. But there are a lot of quick helpful things like get-event log. You mentioned there's event viewer here. Being able to go in and parse that, and instead of returning a string with a normal thing, it would return an object where you can interact with the object. That was not what I wanted to do. Let's see. I don't even think I have event log on here. Apparently I'm missing a module. But yeah,
We'll imagine it. We're going to imagine that it's phenomenal.
yeah, but it's just, there's things like that where you can, with PowerShell, go out and make mass changes quickly without having to leave your environment. It goes out and connects to wherever you need to, as long as you have the right setup. And it does everything. There's nothing in your life that can't be automated with PowerShell, including Austin's network.
What I like to
Austin?
think about it is that it is an automation framework. Austin mentioned earlier being lazy, and we're talking in the chat about working smart and not harder. And PowerShell is your way of doing that, particularly in a Windows environment, right? Most of your targets or the computers you're managing have Windows PowerShell. And so it's a combination of tools and a way to automate things in your environment. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we've done several webcasts on just PowerShell alone, and it's hard to go into how it's useful. But like I believe when we did the automation of packages not in our library, PowerShell was the backbone of all that automation. So this is my personal favorite, and it's one of those. I think Noonan, who's a legend around here, he used to have a graph of time to code versus how repeatable and how long a task takes, and he has like a chart of, is automating it worthwhile, and on a log and off timeline.
Is it?
Always.
Andrew, people are asking if there's going to be a location for these suggestions of everybody's favorites. Is there?
Wow, it's my job. Sure. Well, I'll start. How about this? A Discord thread. We'll all get together. It'll be a source of truth for all of our favorite tools, and it'll be in thread form, so people in the future can go ahead and see it.
We can also post them in the description in YouTube. I'll gather those up. We do have one question that came in.
All right.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a tool to filter through Windows events more easily?
So that is where, I mean, obviously you're watching me Oh, good. We're not sharing the screen, so you're not watching. I'm just going to clear this real
Oh,
quick.
good. I mean, it was working perfectly. You can't see it,
Everything's
but
going great.
it's great. We had no problems.
So if you know what type of event you're looking for, if you know you're looking for a certain code or anything like that, then PowerShell is great for that, just because you can go and say, if I'm looking for event ID 3036 or 42, I think is the ongoing, then you can go and you can use that and filter through. You're only pulling those objects, and then you can specify the time frame you're looking for, and you can really trim down the events you're looking for based on that. But you do need to have some information about what specific log you're looking for PowerShell to be effective.
So it sounds like yes.
Yeah, well, that's for I already said PowerShell can do everything. I don't know of any tool outside of PowerShell that would be a great fit for that. I don't know if anyone has any ideas. Oh, looks like Marcel with Event Log Explorer. I'm not familiar with that, but if Marcel says it, I trust it.
We trust it. Go, Marcel.
When we have a massive breach, it's going to be my blind trust of Marcel.
Agreed.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. So that's 5 tools plus PowerShell.
Which is like 10 tools,
Yeah,
100 tools all in one.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get that list just because there's a lot of automation. There's a lot of great tools that make your life easier. The 5 we covered here are all free, and they all make significant positive impact. But, find what works for you, and remove all of the little pains from your life, because with this sysadmins, we don't have time to deal with the other crap.
It's true.
For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
See ya.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. If you like what you've seen, do us a favor, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please leave us comments. Join our Discord, because quite honestly, it's just a party there. Truly is. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here next time.